Hey everybody, welcome back. It's time to start chapter 9 of Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's library. Kyle couldn't wait to tell his family the good news. I won the essay contest! He showed them his shiny new library card. Congratulations, said his mom. Way to go, said his dad. His brothers, Curtis and Mike, were more interested in Kyle's other card, his $500 Lemoncello gift card. It's good for 12 months, said Kyle. But you need to use it now, said Mike. We need to go to the store tonight so you can buy me Mr. Lemoncello's kooky wacky hockey. I can't. Why not? I have to show my library card at the store to cash it in. And, I'm grounded, remember? You know, Kyle, said his dad, looking at his mother, who nodded. Since you worked extra hard and did such a bang-up job on your essay, I think we might consider suspending your punishment. Really? Really. Kyle's mom and dad smiled at him, the way they smiled whenever Mike won a football game or Curtis won the science fair. After supper, all 5 Keeleys piled into the family van and headed off to the local toy store. Lemoncello's hockey game is awesome, said Mike as they drove to the store, especially when the Penguins play the polar bears. I'm hoping to find a classic board game, mused Curtis. Mr. Lemoncello's bewilderingly baffling bibliomania. Is that about the Bible? Asked their dad from behind the wheel. Not exactly, said Curtis, although the Bible, especially a rare Gutenberg edition, may be one of the treasures you must find and collect, because the object of the game is to collect rare and valuable books by... the Penguins in kooky wacky hockey aren't from Pittsburgh like in the NHL, said Mike, cutting off Curtis. They're from Antarctica, and the polar bears, they're from Alaska. Kyle had decided to divvy up his gift card 5 ways, to give everybody, including his mom and dad, $100 to play with. As soon as they entered the toy store, the family split up, cruising the aisles with their own shopping carts. His mom was going to upgrade to Mr. Lemoncello's restaurant rush. His dad was looking for one of Mr. Lemoncello's complicated what-if historical games. What if the Romans had won the American Civil War? Kyle hung with Curtis and Mike for a while. Being the one with the gift card made him feel like he was suddenly their big brother. Mike quickly found his PlayStation hockey game, and Curtis was in geek heaven when he finally found Bibliomania. The only one they have left, he gushed, tearing off the cellophane shrink wrap and prying open the lid. He sat down right in the middle of the store and unfolded the game board on his lap. You see, you start under the rotunda in this circular reading room, and then you go upstairs and enter each of these 10 chambers where you have to answer a question about a book. I think I hear Mom calling me, said Kyle. She must need the gift card. Enjoy! And Kyle took off. The store will close in 15 minutes, announced a voice from the ceiling speakers. Kyle flew up and down the aisles and grabbed a couple of board games he didn't own yet, including Mr. Lemoncello's absolutely incredible Iron Horse, a game where you build your own transcontinental railroad, complete with locomotive game pieces that actually puff steam. As Kyle was doing some quick math to see if he'd spent his $100, Charles Chiltington rolled up the aisle with a cart crammed full of $500 worth of loot. Games stacked on top of games were practically spilling over the sides. Mr. Lemoncello's phenomenal picture word puzzler, one of Kyle's favorites, was teetering on the top. Hello, Keeley, said Chiltington with a smirk. He looked down at the 3 games sitting in the bottom of Kyle's shopping cart. Just getting started? No. I shared my gift card with my family. Really? Well, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Kyle was about to answer when Chiltington said, So long, see you on Friday. Kyle wasn't 100% sure, but Charles might have also muttered, loser. Since the store was about to close, Kyle headed toward the checkout lanes. When he passed the customer service department, he saw Haley Daly. No, Kyle heard Haley say in a hushed tone to the clerk working the returns window. I do not want to return these items for store credit. I would prefer cash. Kyle finally found his family, showed the cashier his library card, and paid for everything with a single swipe of his gift card. You know, Kyle, said his dad as the family walked across the parking lot, Your mother and I are extremely proud of you. Writing a good essay isn't easy. Maybe you'll be an author someday, added his mom. Then you could write books that'll be on the shelves of the new library. Thanks, little brother, said Curtis, practically hugging his bibliomania box. Yeah, said Mike, this was awesome. Way to win one for the team. Best family game night ever, joked their dad. Kyle was enjoying his rare moment of glory, playing Santa Claus for his whole family. As the week dragged on, Friday night and the library lock-in started to remind Kyle of Christmas too. It felt like they would never come. Then finally, they did. Chapter 10. Now this is what I call a party, said Kyle's mother as she helped herself to a bacon-wrapped shrimp from a tray being carried by a waiter in a tuxedo. Kyle and his parents were in the crowded ballroom of the Parker House Hotel for the Lemoncello Library's gala grand opening reception. The Parker House was located right across the street from the old Gold Leaf Bank building and the cluster of office buildings, craft shops, clothing stores, and restaurants called Old Town. I'm going to see if I can find Akimi, Kyle said to his mom and dad. Give her our congratulations, said his mom. We're proud of her, too, added his dad. Kyle made his way through the glittering sea of dressed-up adults. Even though his parents had put on fancy clothes for the reception, Kyle was wearing something comfortable to go exploring in, as instructed by the lock-in guide that he'd received on Wednesday. He'd packed a sleeping bag and a small suitcase with a change of clothes, toiletries, and yes, as requested, an extra pair of underpants. Kyle saw Sierra Russell all alone in a corner near a clump of curtains. It didn't look like her mother had come to the party with her. Sierra, of course, had her nose buried in a book. Kyle shook his head. The girl was about to spend the night in a building filled with books, and she was skipping all the free food and pop so she could read? That was just nutty. Haley Daly, wearing a sparkly blouse, was posing for a wall of photographers who wanted to snap her picture. Her mother was at the party, too. While the cameras were focused on Haley's smile, Mrs. Daly wrapped up a couple of chicken kebabs in a napkin and slipped them inside her purse. Now Kyle saw Charles Chiltington. Poor guy must not have read the memo about comfortable clothes. He was still wearing his khakis and blazer just like his dad. Kyle figured the Chiltington family must own like 300 pairs of pleated tan pants. Hey, Kyle! Akimi waved at him from near a fake shrub curled to look like a silly straw. Hey, said Kyle. Did you remember to bring your library card? Yep. Kyle pulled it out of his pocket. Huh, said Akimi. I got different books on the back of mine. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish by Dr. Seuss and 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger. Well, I guess they're like baseball cards, said Kyle. They're all different. Hey, you guys! Miguel Fernandez, more excited than usual, which was saying something, pushed through the mob to join them. Did you try these puffy, cheesy things? Nah, said Kyle. I'm sticking to food that I recognize. The puffy, cheesy things are called fromage tartlets, said Andrew Peckelman, coming over to join the group. Huh, said Kyle. Good to know. A waiter passed by with a tray loaded down with small boxes of Mr. Lemoncello's anagram cracker cookies. Oh, I love these, said Kyle, taking a box off the platter and opening it. The cookies are in the shapes of letters. You have to see how many words you can spell. Cool, said Miguel, snagging a fistful of cookies out of Kyle's box. It tastes good, too. Yep, said Kyle, but the more you eat, the harder the game gets. Why? Asked Andrew Peckelman. Less letters, said Akimi, snatching 2 B's and a Q and wolfing them down. Barbecue flavored. Kyle spread out the remaining cookies in his palm. U-N-F-E-H-A-V. He grinned as he deciphered an easy anagram. So an anagram is when you take a set of letters and you unscramble them to make a word or words. So he's taking the letters U, N, F, E, H, A, and V, and he's going to unscramble them to make a word or words. Want a minute to see if you can figure it out? Okay, here's what he made. Have fun. Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dr. Zinchenko, dressed in a bright red suit, strode to the center of the ballroom. May I have your attention, please? Mr. Lemoncello will be arriving shortly to say a few brief words. After that, I will escort the 12 essay contest winners across the street to the library. Therefore, children, might I suggest that you eat up? Food and drink are not permitted anywhere in the library except in the Book Nook Cafe, conveniently located on the first floor. Miguel grabbed a few more puffy cheesy things. When she thought no one was looking, Mrs. Daly shoved a napkined bundle of bacon-wrapped shrimp into her purse. Akimi nibbled a couple of chocolate-dipped pretzel sticks. Aren't you going to grab some more grub? She said to Kyle. No thanks. I only like food I can play with. One last thing, announced Dr. Zinchenko. We, of course, want our winners to have fun tonight, however. I must insist that each of you respect my #1 rule. Be gentle with each other and, most especially, the library's books and exhibits. Can you do that for me? Yes! Shouted all the winners, except Charles Chiltington. He said, indubitably. Good thing the library has dictionaries, muttered Akimi. Half the time, it's the only way to figure out what Chiltington's saying. Suddenly, all the adults in the ballroom started clapping. Mr. Lemoncello, looking like a beanpole, wearing a tailcoat and a tiny birthday party fireman's hat, strode into the room through a side door. Thank you, he said, stretching the elastic band to raise his kid-sized hat and tipping it toward the crowd. You are too kind. And then he let go of the hat. It snapped back with a sharp thwack. As Dr. Zinchenko informed you, I'd like to say a few brief words. Here they are. Short, memorandum, and underpants. And let us pause to remember the immortal words of Dr. Seuss. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Children? Mr. Lemoncello flourished his arm toward the ballroom doors. It's time to go across the street. Your amazingly spectacular new public library awaits. All right, tomorrow we will get into the library. See you then.